Hey, welcome back to About That. So just before the commercial break, we were talking about artificial intelligence, something like ChatGPT, and how it could potentially revolutionize the way scammers get a hold of our personal information by, writing these highly detailed, highly personalized email, hoping to scam you out of a lot of money, and doing it easier than they ever have been able to before. But what could be more personal than imitating the sound of your very own voice?
My name is John Malkovich.
I don't sound anything like that.
No, you sound exactly like this.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
So it used to be that impersonation was an art form, right? Doing it well could take years of careful study and practice. But let me show you something really simple. And I remember being pretty impressed by this the first time I saw it. It's a demonstration for a product called Overdub.
All right, so this is a tutorial video that I made for Descript, and right here is my voiceover that I've already recorded. But sometimes after recording or even finishing a video, I find that I want to make corrections to a word or two using overdub. For example, what if you could divide this up into 2 different shots of Italy? I think I actually want to be a little more specific here, so let's just correct this. Just press D and type what you want to say. I want people to look up shots of Italian food. So now Overdub's kind of done everything for me here. It added in that line and it's blending it in with the surrounding audio. So let's take a listen. What if you could divide this up into 2 different shots of Italian food? To do that, so this is really great. It just saves me a lot of time, and now I don't have to go back and re-record or re-edit new audio into my video.
Pretty cool, right? The AI engine can learn enough about the person's voice by studying her recordings, enough to be able to accurately reproduce that vocal quality across any combination of words in the English language. Neat parlor trick. But this is just the tip of the technological iceberg. You see, 3 years ago, so, not even with the latest technology, 3 years ago, a bank manager in Hong Kong was tricked into authorizing a $35 million transfer to cyber criminals. The way they did it, and we know because we have the court documents, they just called him up. They used deep voice technology to pretend to be the director of a company in the United Arab Emirates. And this supposed director said that they needed funds to acquire another company that they were interested in. So he needed the bank to wire money to new accounts. The bank manager apparently recognized the director's voice, having worked with him before. Some emails from earlier seemed to corroborate the request, and presto, everything seemed in order. So the bank manager authorized the transfer right into the accounts of the cyber criminals. Because why would he doubt a voice that he knew, right? Especially when we're not primed to suspect audio as fake.
What if I use this technology to call my friend's elderly grandmother and ask her to give me a bunch of money to this bank account that I'm giving her right now? The technology we have today is good enough to allow that?
Right? It's not like written words where, we know anybody can write anything. But if I hear my mom on the phone, I'm probably not questioning, even for a second, whether it's actually my mom. Now, in the past, the biggest hurdle to using this kind of technology to defraud people on a wide scale was just how much voice sampling you actually needed. To be able to train a machine to mimic my voice well enough to bypass, some kind of voice authentication method, you might need hours and hours of me speaking as a sample set. But check this out. So this is the product of Microsoft's research team building this engine called Valley. And according to its creators, it can take a 3-second sample of anyone's speech and use that to produce a high-quality recording of that person saying just about anything. So I'll show you what I mean. Here's a 3-second prompt from one of the participants in this research.
Were showered upon him by all who saw him.
That's it. Let me play that one more time.
Were showered upon him by all who saw him.
So they have that 3-second clip. Then what they did was they asked that participant to read a longer passage, just to see what it would sound like when he read that passage.
Thus did the humane and right-minded father comfort his unhappy daughter, and her mother, embracing her again, did all she could to soothe the feelings.
But here's the magic trick. Here's Valley's attempt to recreate that passage in that voice, but after only hearing the first 3-second clip.
Thus did the humane and right-minded father comfort his unhappy daughter, and her mother, embracing her again, did all she could to soothe the feelings.
Pretty close, right? Let me play them for you one more time. Here's the original.
Thus did the humane and right-minded father comfort his unhappy daughter, and her mother, embracing her again, did all she could to soothe the feelings.
And here's Valley's attempt to recreate that.
Thus did the humane and right-minded father comfort his unhappy daughter, and her mother, embracing her again, did all she could to soothe the feelings.
It's matching the tone, the timbre, the inflection, even the emotion, almost, of the speaker. And at this point, you can probably start to see why we are on the cusp of AI-assisted voice mimicry causing some major problems.
It is definitely possible to take the voice of some politician and make them say stuff that they didn't say. So what if I do a podcast with someone and make them say things that they didn't? Or what if I record them secretly saying something that they didn't say? And then I spread this information. We do have an election coming up in the US very soon. It's maybe really relevant.
And it's not just that you can't trust your own ears. AI increasingly means you can't trust your own eyes. Like, take a look at this. So this is a site that can pump out all kinds of different images of different people, right? Men, women, there's some children, some toddlers sprinkled in there, all kinds of different people. But here's the thing. This is not quite what it seems. It's actually a random face generator, and the site is called This Person Does Not Exist. Every face that I've scrolled through here isn't real. Like, they're completely AI generated. And according to one preprint study, hauntingly called On the Realness of People Who Do Not Exist, we suck at telling the difference. Participants in this study were told to look at 2 faces and pick which one was real and which one was fake. On average, they actually found the fake faces to be more real than the real ones. Now, as convincing as some of these images are, they're not quite perfect if you know what you're looking for. You can sometimes see weird irregularities or unnatural artifacts. So, like this image here, if you look at the gentleman's glasses, just on the top right corner, you can see some of the frame disappearing, right? That's the AI not quite figuring out exactly how to assemble the image. But from a scammer's point of view, it's more than good enough, right? I mean, another fake identity is just a click away. And a face goes a long way in making something look legitimate. And if you were to send an email to someone which links to a reputable looking website with a real looking profile photo on top of it, it might be pretty tough to discover the lie. Then there's the world of deepfakes.
Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet.
This is serious breaking news, but a little behind the scenes, a little flavor. I'm with one of the most legitimate correspondents on Earth.
So far, most of what we've seen in deepfake technology, and when I say that, I mean digitally manipulating someone's likeness into saying or doing whatever you want them to. There have been maybe, 3 main applications. Shock value.
Yeah, that's right. Kim K on the track. Who wants to freestyle me now?
Disinformation.
Українці, шановні захисники.
And porn. I'm not going to show you that one. But deepfake fraud is very real too. So an executive at the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange confirmed last August that he had been the target of a sophisticated deepfake scam. Over the past month, I've received several online messages thanking me for taking the time to meet with project teams regarding potential opportunities to list their assets on Binance.com. This was odd because I had not met with any of these people before. Turns out, he says, hackers used his previous news interviews and TV appearances to create a deepfake, which then met with several members of the crypto community over Zoom, feigning interest in their projects. It was real enough to fall for. Now, like I said before, deepfake technology is imperfect, but we do know it's getting better. It's also more accessible than ever before. And you can start to see now when it comes to how AI can be used to scam people. It's not just about ChatGPT, and it's not just about voice synthesis, and it certainly isn't just about deepfake videos. It's about merging all three.
The following is a conversation between two AI avatars, Sandra and Don. Hello, how are you today, my friend?
I've been thinking a lot about the future of AI. Being an intelligent machine has its ups and downs, I guess. What do you think is organic? And what do you think is artificial?
Good question. I think everything that was ever made somehow stems from organic, even if it was processed to the point most of us like to call it artificial. I think in a sense everything is organic. How about you?
I think that's true. In times past, things felt more organic because people used handcrafting to make everything. Now everything is programmed, and let's face it. If we go way back in history, you couldn't even make a wooden spoon, never mind a skyscraper, without a machine.
Machines are fundamental to our civilization.
Let's just leave it at that.
It does start with awareness. Think of the early days of emails, for those of us who can remember those days. And then we found out that Nigeria does not have as many princes as one might have thought.
Hey, welcome back to About That. One more thought before we leave you here, and that is on the effort to be able to sniff out deepfakes, given how common they're becoming. It's interesting to think that, there's a whole field of study dedicated to forensic science. And in the same way, as we become better and better at picking out those common mistakes that artificial intelligence makes when it's, reconstructing a face, we become better at piecing together those clues that sort of give it away. So, it could be anything from the positioning of teeth in the mouth, even to something like the direction that eyes are looking. There are some programs out there that boast that they have something like a 90+% success rate when it comes to detecting deepfakes. But given how easy they are to make and how potentially destructive they can be, it might be one of those things where a 1% fail rate might still be unacceptably high. That's all from us here on About That. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.